All right, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating philosophical puzzle all about how our own language works. And we're going to do it by looking at one of the most common, most personal words we know, a word that might just change how you think about all words.
So, let's kick things off with a kind of a weird thought. What if the very words you use to ask a question are the thing creating a trap, a labyrinth with no exit? What if the whole problem isn't about finding the answer, but realizing that the question itself is the maze?
Okay, first up, the language labyrinth. Yeah, we're basically about to step into a maze that's built entirely out of words we use every single day without a second thought. So here's the fundamental idea, right? We're not on the hunt for some new scientific discovery. We're just trying to get some clarity by untangling a knot in our own thinking. And we're going to do that just by looking at the very tool we're using to think, language.
All right, section 2, the case of pain. You know, to really get a grip on this labyrinth idea, we need a good case study. And we're going to use one of the most basic human experiences there is, the simple word pain.
I am in pain. I mean, it seems about as simple as it gets, right? We say it, we get it. But this little sentence, this is the front door to our whole mystery.
But really, stop and think about it for a second. When you say something like, I have brown hair, you're reporting a fact that someone else can check. But when you say, I am in pain, are you really doing the same thing? Is it a factual report on some private internal thing only you can feel? Or is it something else entirely? Maybe more like a sophisticated version of a groan or a wince, an expression of what you're feeling.
And this right here is the trap. It's perfect. On the one hand, if your pain is totally 100% private, then how on earth did anyone ever teach you the word for it? They can't peek inside your mind to see if you're using it correctly. But then, on the other hand, if pain is just the public stuff, the crying, the grimacing, then are you just a good actor? Does the actual feeling inside even matter? It's like the real pain gets erased from the picture.
And boom, there it is. We are completely, philosophically stuck. Each one of these common sense ideas leads to a conclusion that just feels wrong, impossible. We're trapped at a dead end. And it was our own language that led us here.
Okay, section 3. The meaning is use clue. So just when it feels like we've hit a brick wall, our little investigation turns up a clue. And it's a clue that's going to change the whole game. This is the light bulb moment. What if the mistake all along was thinking that the word pain has to point to something, like a label on a jar? What if we've been asking the totally wrong question by trying to find the thing that pain refers to? And this brings us to this really powerful, game-changing idea. Meaning is use. The idea is simple. A word's meaning isn't some object it stands for. Nope. Its meaning is the job it has in our lives. Think of words as tools in a toolbox. You don't ask what a screwdriver refers to, you ask what it does. It's the same with words.
So, okay, if words are tools, what's the job of the word pain? What do we actually do with it? Well, we use it to ask for help. We use it to explain why we just yelled, ouch. We use it to get sympathy, to communicate that something is seriously wrong. Its meaning isn't some hidden feeling. It's all of these jobs it does for us, together.
All right, our final section, beyond the map's edge. Because this whole meaning is use idea, it's way bigger than just the word pain. It gives us a whole new way to think about how language even works.
And this quote from Wittgenstein just captures it perfectly. Imagine you're digging, trying to find the ultimate foundation for why we do something. You keep asking, but why? But why? Eventually, your shovel just hits solid rock. You can't go any deeper. At that point, you just have to say, well, this is just what we do. That shared practice, that's the bedrock. So, here we are, approaching the big takeaway from all of this. And the first part is realizing that the whole point of this exercise wasn't to come up with some clever final answer to our original question.
No, the real point was to see the problem so clearly that it just dissolves. Once you see that the word pain is a tool with a job, that whole contradiction between private feeling and public behavior just melts away. The word is the bridge between them. We escape the labyrinth not by finding an exit, but by realizing the walls were an illusion we built ourselves.
And that, right there, is the big reveal. This kind of philosophy isn't about building some massive, complicated theory about the universe. It's more like therapy for our thinking. It's a way of finding the knots we've tied ourselves into, seeing how they happened, and then gently undoing them so we can see clearly again. So I guess I want to leave you with this final thought.
We always think progress means finding new answers. But what if real wisdom, real understanding, actually comes from knowing when we're asking a tangled question and just having the clarity to put it down?